All right, cool. Let's go ahead and jump on to the voice of the seller report here. So another one from SmartScout's. So the voice of the seller report provides valuable insights into current economic trends, emphasizing the increasing importance of social media as a sales channel. Notably, 56% of sales professionals leverage social media to discover new prospects. For Amazon sellers, integrating social media strategies can enhance product visibility and customer engagement. Additionally, the report highlights the significance of customer service, with 88% of customers more likely to repurchase after a positive service experience. So that one, the AI did not do very good summarizing that. So I am going to point out some of the really cool things in here myself. So what Smart Scout actually did is they sent out a questionnaire to thousands of sellers out there to get their responses on a lot of cool questions like their revenue, their thoughts on seller support, and things like that. So let's just dive into some of these and take a look. Have you guys dug through this report at all yet?
No.
At all?
I'll tell you,
Yeah, I
Scott
looked
and
through it. I
Smart
liked it.
Scout, yeah, they do their data is always so good.
Yeah, for sure. So this first one here is Amazon annual revenue. So this is revenue of sellers. And so you can see a majority of sellers are making less than $100,000 a year on Amazon. So 32.4% less than 100,000. 22.4% more than 5 million. So that is kind of cool to see that size number there, which is nice.
I'd wager that a lot of those are wholesale.
Wholesale?
I should say it wouldn't surprise me to learn that a lot of those that are doing 5 million plus are wholesale sellers rather than private label.
Yeah, probably leaning that way. And actually, they've got that on another slide here, I think, that we're going to come up to. But the other graph here, kind of cool breakdown. So 21% of sellers are private label, 28% retail ARB, 39% wholesale, 10% agency or service provider.
That sort of answers the question right there. The majority of sellers are wholesale.
Yes. Now, it kind of surprises me that wholesale is so much larger, more than almost double, I should say, than private label. I would have thought private label would have been higher.
I think it could theoretically be, but I think a lot of people are moving more still towards that wholesale because 60% of the top 6,000 sellers on Amazon are, reseller wholesalers, right? Just from the aspect of, think about it. When's the last time you seen Nike sell their own products? It's a bunch of people who are selling it. So it's like Nike is definitely a brand doing well over 5 million, but on Amazon per year. But every single product that is sold from a wholesaler of some kind. So this graph makes a lot of sense. I think the hardest thing from working with sellers over the years is breaking that $100,000 realm, right? So that 32% is not even slightly surprising if you think about the idea of, what small percentage of brands end up, hitting over 100,000 at the end of the day. It's not really all that surprising. I would love to see this breakdown from a, what percentage of each of that 0 to 100,000 is each of the 4 types over there as well.
Which I do believe they have.
Ooh, we got all the data, huh?
Yeah, we've got lots of different data. Let me see if we've got, I think it's somewhere in here. I remember seeing it, but let's just go through this and we'll probably come to it. So the people who responded, 86% Amazon is their main business, 13% is not. 61%
that surprises me.
Say they dictate their own salary, 38% say they do not. Not 100% sure what they mean by that. They're thinking that Amazon dictates their salary.
I think that means basically, are you the brand owner or do you work for the brand?
Yeah, no, that's true. Yep. Somebody who's working for someone versus a business owner kind of thing, probably. But kind of cool, but could be risky. Amazon is your main business. So that means you live and die by Amazon changes, right?
I mean, there's four people right here that that we are in that category too.
Yes.
You know, like Leslie and myself and Noah and you, Todd, we're all service providers and sellers. You know, and so we all fit
Well,
into that little.
Warren Buffett, I think, has a good quote where he says, put all of your eggs in one basket and watch it very carefully. So,
yeah. So, Dana, do we even count as being diversified if we sell on Amazon and we're a service provider for Amazon?
No, I don't. So I don't think so. I think that,
I don't either.
that those of us that are sellers and service providers just went, hey, I'm going to diversify away from only being a seller and
Right.
also help sellers, right? Because based on your experiences, like you are one of the, if not the premier agency that helps sellers get their stuff straight and back onto Amazon and stuff like that, right? And if they didn't have you, there are a lot of businesses that would no longer be here without Riverbend Consulting, because sellers don't have the experience or knowledge to fix this stuff. And when they, even if they do, sometimes even then it doesn't get fixed. Like I should have come to you when this happened back in 2020, whatever it was, when all 4 of my Seller Central accounts got shut down. And it took me 4 months to get them back.
Nightmare.
And it killed our business. And now granted, there's a lot of things that I knowingly don't do correctly. Like I don't run ads and stuff like that, but we did not recover from our sales velocity. We never recovered from our sales velocity on that. Part of that's due to, well, it doesn't matter what it's due to. We just like getting slapped after being I've never had my account suspended in 15 years, except for that one time. And it killed us. So,
well, and you know what? Part of this survey talks about fear of suspension. And thank you for the kind words, Dana. But part of this survey actually talks about like how afraid are you to be suspended, and what would it do to your business, which I thought was fascinating.
100% of people are afraid, and the rest are lying.
Right.
Have you been suspended on Amazon? 64% no, 35% yes.
Have you been suspended?
Yes, so 35% of sellers have been suspended.
I think I'd be curious to see like what the percentage breakdown here is, well, for like how many people have been suspended, but how many of that percentage as well who have said yes were able to like break out their suspension, right? So like for instance, we deal with like account suspension all the time, and we hit like a 94% success rate in getting suspensions lifted. But I'm kind of curious, is that like standard across the board? Like how many people are really realistically getting suspended, having their account revoked entirely, and then just needing to start up a new one, right? And I think it's a common concern that everyone has, because so many people, I mean, I've had my account deactivated before, right?
Yeah.
And it's a terrifying thing if you like don't know what to do. And you have people like Leslie over there, and ourselves who are constantly dealing with this and seeing all of the different reasons Amazon will do it every single day. And so the average seller, I think, just doesn't even know how to deal with it. So it's interesting to see that kind of number and like what the success rate those sellers might even have, like dealing with it themselves versus seeing like success rate of other businesses as well.
So I wanted to point out I'm sorry. Go ahead, Dana.
Go for it. Okay.
Well,
just a quick comment. Just look at this. He knew that everyone's afraid of being suspended. So he asked them what percentage out of a scale of 1 to 10, how afraid are you? And everything is above the 50% mark. So for me, I'm rounding up. Everyone's like diarrhea afraid of being suspended, like pooping their pants, like it's going to happen. I just know it. I'm being a little facetious there, but it's kind of like, it's almost like it's not about if, it's about when.
Well, and I also wanted to point out the seller suspension by annual revenue size, because there is this myth out there that people think if you're smaller, they're more likely to come after you. and then other people think if you're bigger, they're more likely to come after you. And really, this shows where it shows the people who say, yeah, they've been suspended. It's pretty even. And the bigger sellers actually have had a higher rate on the yes. Let's see, it's like 28% for really small, and then jumps to 44%, and then back to 32% and 32%. So, yeah, it's not like there's some dramatic difference. There it is. There's not some dramatic difference in size of who is getting suspended. And I can attest that I've worked with some of the largest sellers on Amazon, like enormous, that sell so much that it blows your mind kind of sellers who've been suspended. And they're good sellers, good people. They're not shady. They had errors that were made by their team, and Amazon took them down. And you would think Amazon would say, you do $1 billion a year on Amazon, we want those fees. No, it still suspended them. And then like little mom and pops, they get suspended too. So I loved this because it kind of throws out that whole, oh, if you're big, they leave you alone. No.
I can't remember who it was. I think it might have been John Elder on LinkedIn. He had posted a couple of weeks ago. He posted a Reddit thread that someone had put together.
Yes.
And it was somebody it was very obvious that it was somebody who works for Amazon seller support. And they talked about the process of how they would be punished if they marked something as yes and, reinstate an account or something. And it turned out to be inaccurate and they shouldn't have done that. But they would never be punished if they said no to everything. So they just said no to everything. And that was like a moment where I'm like, yeah, this clears up a lot of information, like makes it very obvious. Like, why does this happen for sellers in general? And it's because you have somebody who doesn't know Amazon, doesn't actually know terms of service or anything, gets something thrown across their desk, and they're like, I could spend, 25 minutes digging into this, figuring out if this is going to be a real thing, or I could just click one button and be done with it. And, there was a recent story I think we put out as well of a brand that was doing, as like Leslie's saying, huge numbers. I mean, I think they were doing like $40 million a month.
The baby brand.
It was the
so
baby
this
brand,
is a cool slide here.
Sorry, we lost you for a second, Noah.
All good.
Yeah, sorry, no, I thought you were done talking, but you just glitched out for a second. So I didn't mean to talk over you.
No worries, Todd.
With seller support, I thought this slide was pretty interesting. Has seller support improved or declined? 45% declined, 42% stayed the same, 12% improved. So I'd be curious to talk to those people who said it improved. But
they probably work for Amazon.
Yeah, probably. And
Amazon, I hope you're listening to this because you need to know this.
Does Amazon seller support hold you back from achieving your business goals? 60% yes, 40% no. And I would definitely be in the yes camp with that. They frequently hold me back from achieving my goals. That's for sure.
What you mean? Just because when you upload a flat file because you wanted to change the bullet points for your product because you determined there were better keywords and they wouldn't take, even though you had brand registry. And so then you opened a case and no one would help you. So then you opened a case with brand registry and no one would help you. So you re-upload the flat file and it still doesn't work. And you open a case and they say you're not the brand owner, so you can't change it, but you try to anyway. You mean that's holding you back? What's wrong with you, Todd?
Yeah. I had two situations recently of products that I sell wholesale. So I don't have, exclusive on them or anything, but they sell really well for us. And we're one of the only sellers that are on the products. Both of them have had hijacking attempts where someone changed the brand name to some just random letters. And so in both of them, I had the exact same problem. So I send a case to seller support saying, hey, someone is attempting to hijack this listing. They changed the brand name from what it was to this. And I send a screenshot pointing out, the brand name on the product, the brand name all over the listing and stuff. And then I say that I'm not trying to change the brand name or anything like that. I'm just pointing out that someone's trying to hijack this. I'd like you guys to look into it and revert it back to the correct brand name. both times they reply with the email and say, if you want to change the brand name of a product, that's not allowed according to Amazon's terms. You need to create a new product. It's like, did you even read anything that I wrote you?
The answer is no, Todd. It's
No.
like this. I've said this a number of times. I think even on this live stream, but I firmly believe that Amazon's like the IRS. The first answer is always an automated no, because it probably eliminates 70% of the work that seller support actually has to do.
Yes, 100%. Guarantee it.